What's going on, tank enjoyers? Hope you guys have had a good day. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 100 LT. Now there's one unique thing about this tank that sets it apart from most other tanks in the game. As you can see here, if we go over towards equipment, its unique mechanic is tracer shells. Now this means that whenever you shoot at somebody and it hits, it doesn't even have to pin. As long as the shell hits, it lights them up for 20 seconds so that they're spouted. Now, this can be quite fun against some inexperienced players because they don't quite understand how this works. They think they're spotted only for 10 seconds, and they poke out, let's say, like 15 seconds later, but they're still spotted for another 5 seconds, and then they just get a rain of shells on them. And sometimes that can be funny to watch. Now, the tracer shells is a unique mechanic specifically to this tank and a few other tanks in the game, and that would be the Tier 9 version of the 100 LT and the Object 907. But the tracer shells is really just fits this tank really well, and it's such a unique mechanic because the main goal of this tank is to be running around spotting people, providing assisted damage for others. And it's really good for, let's say, if you have a tank destroyer in the back. Obviously, they can't spot somebody from mid to front line of the range, so if you just drive up there on medium side and just start shooting people and lighting them up for 20 seconds, you can get a lot of assisted damage. As you can see here, the Tier 9 100 LT has tracer shells, and as I said before, the Object 907. And those three, I believe, are the only tanks with this mechanic in the game. So it's definitely unique to the Soviet line. And now let's take a look at the stats. As you can see, now I am running equipment and food and fuel and whatnot, so these stats are going to vary a little bit. But as you can see from my DPM, I'm running a little over 300 or 3,300, which is quite nice. I am running gun rammer on this tank. It seems more fun overall. It also helps to teach me some weak spots in some tanks because the penetration isn't quite as good. As you can see, the penetration is pretty okay. 230, 38 on the AP standard and whatnot. Here we can take a look at the alpha. 310 on the standard, 280 on the 260 on blind apparently on the premium, and 420 on the high explosive. Now this tank doesn't host quite the best gun depression, but that's not the main goal. This tank is not to be holding ridge lines and stuff. You want to be kind of spotting and just spotting for others really, and helping keep them spotted for 20 seconds. Okay. Now we can take a look at the stats on my tank over here, and as you can see, for 95 games we have a win rate of 54%. An average damage of 2121. Now, average damage is good for it's okay, but it's not your main goal for a light tank, especially this type of tank. Your main goal of this tank is to have spots, obviously, because you're a light tank, and to keep enemies spotted with your unique tracer shell mechanic, lighting them up for 20 seconds, which really gives a lot of information towards your team versus on an enemy team. If they don't have any tank with the tracer shell mechanic, they're just kind of SOL because they have less information than if you were to have 100 LT on your team, which is quite nice. As you can look at some more stats here. Now we can here take a look at equipment. As you can see, I'm running gun rammer. I just simply prefer it more. Now I am running camo net on this tank. Normally on lights and mediums you would like to run improved optics to get extra viewing range, but I've heard through others that camo net is simply better. And as you can see, while moving it is at 60, which is just crazy. I believe this tank has the most camo value in the game. So like, let's say if for whatever reason a tank had 100 meters of viewing range, which is kind of a bad example, they would have to get, they would only be able to spot you 40 meters away compared to, let's say, their standard 100, which is quite a lot. And this can mean that you can actually outspot enemies with camo net rather than if you were to be running improved optics like you would standard on pretty much every other medium and light in the game. As you can see, I'm running, of course, improved engine power, improved assembly, which gives more HP. This tank has nothing for armor, don't really rely on it, but you can get some troll bounces. Also on lights and mediums, you usually want to be running a vertical stabilizer, which improves, accuracy while on move. However, I noticed that this tank has fairly good on move for what I use it for or how I play, so I prefer to run refined gun. And a good example where I would prefer to run this is an example of on Castilla. If you were to be on 100 LT and you were to be going medium side, which is towards church, you can be pinging enemies all the way over on the other side of the map for 20 seconds, and it really will show. Now, you may not pin them, of course, but it still does light them up. As you can see here for my equipment, I am running a repair kit, plus adrenaline. Typically, I would like to run all repair kits in a med kit, but as you can see here, I am running adrenaline because there's more situations where I've had it to where using adrenaline is more effective than if I were to have an extra med kit. But it can be quite unfortunate because, like, let's say you have, I don't know, a dead loader, and you already used your repair kit to clear fire, and well, you have less TPM because you have a dead loader and there's nothing you can do about it until you get another one. So let's do that, and now we're going to look at replay, and as you can see here, we're going to find Castilla. So up against us, we're probably going to be encountering a Caro, a T-22, and possibly the Minnow. So we're just going to start with the game out here, and we're going to go towards medium side. And if you guys are wondering, I am uploading this as a separate audio file because I forgot to click include mic while screen recording. So we're going to drive around here on land. Now the one thing about this 100 LT is that it does not like water. Water slows it down like crazy, so I'm going to stick to my lane as much as here as I possibly can. And we're just going to roll up and go to this corner bush over here. It's a very strong spotting spot for our side. So you see there's a T-22, and that was just bad aim for me. That's a serious skill issue. If I aimed a little bit more to the right, I could have easily hit his lower plate. However, we do light him up for 20 seconds, so that's some good intel, I guess, even though we're pretty much right here, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. I was planning on aiming at the Jagdtiger, but we can see that Caro's there, so we're just going to shoot him back up. He's light up for another 20 seconds. Look at this T-22 pushing, and as you can see, our Rhino is right behind us, so that's very good in terms of backup. Although I typically prefer I prefer to go heavy side, but it is more of a mobile heavy. Now we do just get a bad shot on the Caro. Of course, you can see there's the 5 degrees of gun depression really showing here, not being able to hit much. And the tracer shells doesn't do too much since we're right next to each other, but we do hit them in all the way across the map, and this is where refined really shows, because I can just hit these heavies all the way across the map pretty much fairly easily. And as you can see, if you back up in time with this tank, you can get some troll bounces. You see this T-22 is pushing our Rhino, so we're going to get a shell into him. We're just kind of going to take a look at the situation. It's not looking too good right now. As you can see, this Caro's looking to yellow me. We're going to get a shell into him. We're going to try and side script here, but we angled it kind of bad since we ran into the building. But he did just bounce us there with our side scraping. The Rhino does just shoot him, which is good because that gets a Caro clear. That's a big threat. So we're going to get some shells into the Jagdtiger, which is very useful because he is lit up for 20 seconds. And if our tank destroyers were to be sitting on that back ridgeline, which it doesn't look like they quite are, which is unfortunate, but they would still be able to hit that Jagdtiger because he is spotted for another 20 seconds compared to a usual tank. So that's where tracer shells really shows here too. We're just gonna get some shells here into the 5A and the Minnow. Now we don't pen these, but it doesn't even matter because they're still spotted for another 20 seconds. That gives our team some very good intel. And for a reason, I just decided to just kind of heal this T-22. I wanted to get rid of him. He was a big threat here on the medium hill. We do end up missing, but he also missed us, which is quite nice. And he just ignores me for whatever reason. And he just kind of goes for a Murat. I guess he thought I was fully leaving, but I'm just going to start shooting him through here. And our Murat is struggling here. However, he does hit, the last shell, meaning we can clear him, so it's going to be alive, and plus the Murat, which is quite nice. Now, I'm going to be moving up to this very, very good spot coming from our side, which kind of controls their back portion of the map completely, spotting all these TDs in the back. And this is where CamoNet really shows, is I was just 160 meters away from this Jagdtiger and he didn't even spot me. Now I know tank destroyers don't have the best spotting range in the game. Of course they have the worst spotting range in the game, obviously. But it really does show how sneaky this tank can be with CamoNet. Now we're just going to move up and come over to help our heavies, and we can see the minnow on the side, and here it also shows is 230 meters away. I fired and he still didn't spot me. Again, it is a tank destroyer, but yeah, 230 meters away firing and not even getting spotted is quite nice. We're going to clear that 5A. Look at potentially getting to this minnow. However, it doesn't really look like he's going to do anything. So we're going to roll up and look at this E75 and just start getting some shells into him. This portion of the game is just kind of farming, not much to it. I'm not sure why they were both staring at my teammate so intently. I know I was definitely spotted there. So we're just going to back up and shoot this minnow, because I was scared if he's going to hit me, because he can one-shot me. He has around 500 alpha, and I'm less than 500. So we do get the clear before he is able to shoot me. And now all that is left is the Jagdtiger. And you see we're already up to 4,000 damage. And we're just going to try and figure out where the Jagdtiger is. I thought he was in spawn, but then he ended up getting spotted here in town, so we're just going to turn and go towards him. So our Murat just kind of goes for him. It's whatever. We have a fairly healthy AMX M4, but we don't trust our teammates that much. And we do try and yolo him, but then we hit the edge of the house, which is unfortunate. And then he shoots me and high rolls. But it's whatever still at the end of the day. As you can see here, the AMX still clears him. So this is a pretty good showcase of the 100 LT, its mechanics, and possibly how you want to play it. You guys should let me know how else I should have played it. There were definitely some mistakes, but that worked, but they shouldn't have. Like me yelling at T-22, I should have just died. You know, stuff like that. So here's my credits. Here we can take a look at the damage board. I would like to think this AMX, we did a majority of the work on the team, but it still won at the end of the day, no matter how much work they did, even the 0 damage Type 68. So now that we've gone through a replay, let's go over here to our graphics and go to low, and we're going to turn on our shell hit markers, because this way we can see where we get penned. And now we're going to try and break into some live gameplay. I don't always want to do just replays showing just my best moments. I want to show how I'm actually thinking. Even though this is a separate audio file, of course, it is still some live gameplay and what I think of the tank and how to play. So as you can see, guys, we're here on Port Bay, and we will be potentially seeing an object 140 and some other tanks, of course, possibly some other tank destroyers. Now we're gonna go over here towards light/medium side here. Don't ever go town, please, guys. 99% of the time, if you guys go town, it's always a loss. It's just simply a bad part of the map. And as you can see, our team is following us, so that is quite nice. We're gonna aim in over here, see if we can spot anybody in the crossing. We do not. Now we're going to move up to this bush here. The main goal of the bush really is to stop the enemy side from spotting us. Like, let's say if the light and medium were to be shown up, they would spot us, but since we have the bush, it would help to prevent that. The bush, like, it doesn't really do anything because I can see here without a bush, and as you can see across that ridge line on that hill over there, we wouldn't get spotted because of CamoNet. Now, by now, there's nobody over here, as we can see. So we're going to move up a little bit. We want to be a little aggressive, but not too much. And as you can see by now, we are assuming that the enemy team is in town for whatever reason. That's usually just a bad play. So we're just going to move up here, and we're not going to 100% flank. We're going to still try and play some cover, obviously, so we can get any spots over here. And as you can see, we spotted the enemy 183, so he made tank destroyer spot. We did ricochet off of him, but he's still, spotted for another 20 seconds. We do get some assistance damage, and yeah, that was just flat out mistake by me. I don't know why I poked him. However, I didn't think he'd be able to see me, nor if he was able to see me, have the gun elevation due to the angle of his tank to even hit me. So that was just a bad play by me. We can see that our tank destroyers in the back are struggling because the heavies pretty much just flank. I believe the rest of our team back behind me has got the rest that's over there, especially considering there's like an AFK. So we're just going to go back towards this medium secluded kind of area, pretty much playing like we just spawned on the complete other side of the map, even though we didn't. So we're going to just try and see if we can see anything. We really can't here, so we're just going to move up. Get to a point where we can just start getting out shells because we really need to at this point. So you can see G7, and we're just going to shoot him and back up. See if that mouse chin can hit us, and he's not in the air where he can. And then we're just going to get a shell into that medium. Now our tank destroyers are kind of just over there, not blocking on purpose. They're just doing what they should do for the situation. So we're just going to come over here to the side and try and create a potential crossfire, which will really kind of annoy enemies and cause them to have to shift their armor to look somewhere else. So we're going towards this AMX-30 beam, just pop edge on him. There's not much he can do. He has like 2 or 3 tank destroyers just like face planting into him. First, let's see, I wonder if we can track Anapen. No, we cannot. We can only get either or. So, and then you see the 183 just smacks him. I mean, that's pretty funny. As you can see, we're up to 2,800 assisted. Keep in mind, over 1,000 of that was simply from a 183 shooting 1 shell after we tracked the AMX-30. So now we're just going to roll over to this mouse chin. He's kind of been sitting in the back of the whole game. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if he was AFKing for a bit, but he's not really doing much for his team. Yeah, it's kind of quite a show. The characteristics of the 100 LT over others. There are some other tanks we could have played and maybe just simply done better in this game. Of course, this game, at the end of the day, really was just a steamroll. So we did about 2,300 damage and 2,800 assisted, I believe, is what I said. So now we can take a look at the stats. Yep, or sorry, 2,500 damage plus 2,800 assisted. Now, assisted damage, of course, what you want to be doing in a light tank, but it also counts as your own damage, I believe in most situations, if not all. So that's a combined total of like 5,300. But it also compares to the average average stats of like other players throughout with the tank. So you can see that's why only a 3rd class. As you can see here, here's the damage stats. Nothing crazy. Here we can look at my damage assisted, and as you can see, we got 1,200 on the AMX when we shot him the track, and over 1,500 when we spotted the 183 and just lit him up. So that's a very good showcase spotting damage in this game. I believe that'll be the majority of it for the rest of today's video. If you guys have any suggestions how I should play differently, mistakes, or potentially what other guys you want to see. Now I don't have every tank in the game, but here I can give you guys a quick scroll to what I have, and you guys can ask for me to play those tanks, as you can see here. Now I will not be playing below tier 7 because tier 6 just doesn't take skill. It's just no, I don't even like playing tier 6. You can't rely on armor or anything like that because there's just weak spots on every tank anywhere. But yeah, you guys just let me know something down in the comments, any changes. But that should be it for today's video. Bye bye.